There's a study making the rounds on social media. You might see some carnivore influencers tweeting out screenshots of this or people posting this into social media groups. And it really needs to be talked about because, as it turns out, the microplastics problem is much bigger than we thought. I talked about microplastics on this channel back in December, I think, and I described it as sort of the impossible problem to solve. And I say impossible because so much of our food supply comes in direct contact with plastics that it gets into everything, and I do mean everything. And while many carnivores and many other health conscious people stop drinking beverages out of plastic bottles, try to avoid eating food that come in contact with plastic, the truth of the matter is that while those are good steps to take, 99% of human beings have microplastics in our bodies. And it's just been demonstrated through scientific research that that's the case. So this study that's making the rounds was published back in December in the Journal of Food Chemistry, and its title is Microplastic Contamination in Eggs, Detection, Occurrence, and Status. The short version of this is, under laboratory settings, they mimicked digestion of eggs and found microplastics in not only the egg whites, but also the egg yolks of eggs, commercial grocery store eggs. No distinction seems to have been made between quality of egg and the lack of microplastics. What does that mean for you and I? Should you stop eating eggs? No, it does not mean stop eating eggs. I think what it means is, at least for me, this means sort of a reaffirmation of a sort of principle I have when dealing with these kind of things, these kind of issues, which is I pick and choose my nutritional battles. I can't do everything on the carnivore diet. I just simply can't. And by that, I don't mean I cheat or whatever. No, I mean, I can't go to the purity spiraling of essentially avoiding all contact with plastics and, grass-fed only, grass-finished only. I can't do those things. I can't do all those things, and I don't think most of us can either. So we choose interventions that we can easily adopt in our lives. Buying local when we can is a lot easier than avoiding microplastics. Microplastics are the impossible problem. And this study here demonstrates it. And because we can't just avoid everything. Natural flavors are another one where we could probably avoid things if we just simply stopped drinking flavored things, unless things are, you're eating processed meats still, which I'm not against processed meats. Just know what you're eating. Know what you're eating, and if you decide if it's worth it to you. We all must pick and choose our battles when doing this way of life. Remember, the simplest way to do carnivore is beef, butter, bacon, eggs, and maybe sometimes fish as you need it. And yet we know that natural flavors are in butter, and they're not very good. Natural flavors are not natural, and they're not good for you. They come from some pretty nasty sources. And now we know that microplastics are in eggs. That does not mean stop eating those things. It means choose your battles. Decide what you can worry about and what you're willing to worry about, and don't worry about too much the rest of it. I'm here to provide you information to help make those decisions for you, but only you can make the decision, ultimately. Not I, not any other carnivore influencer can make those decisions for you. You must empower yourself with good quality information. And of course, the caveat with any citation of a peer-reviewed research study is that the only way that those are really valid is to have essentially the study duplicated by different researchers and then their findings published. This could, of course, be a fluke, but their study, they tell you how many parts per million microplastics found in eggs, and it's not an insignificant number. They say that in these eggs it was polyethylene. That's not an insignificant ingredient. May not sound like much to you, but these are not good things for us to consume. But you can't avoid it. Eggs, on balance, which is going to be better? Not eating eggs at all, or eating eggs knowing that there's a small amount of microplastics in it. And I think the actual eating eggs is the more important thing. How do you avoid that? Well, I guess raise your own chickens, raise them on your own land, eat the eggs that they produce for you, and make sure that you have scoured your land for all sources of plastics. Don't buy feed for them from the store, from your ranch supply stores or whatever. Let them just forage. Grow the crops, whatever grains that you supplement their feed with yourself. begin to see the scale and scope of that problem. Most people can't do that. Perhaps in a survival situation, which we will probably not find ourselves in, you can do it, but most people will not find themselves in that situation and won't go that far. That's pretty much the only way to do it. Scour your land for plastics, make sure it's all gone, and good luck with that too, because we're talking microplastics. It's not like we're talking a plastic bag is being pecked at by your chickens. These are plastics coming off in the feed bag in tiny micro-sized dots that are getting eaten by the birds and then transferred into their eggs. Microplastics are real, folks. They're in everything. If you know the name of a study about microplastic content in meat, the muscle meat of animals, put the name of it in the comments, please. I'll talk about it in a video. Let me know what you thought of this, though, in the comments, please. Like and subscribe if you haven't. It does help. Sharing this on social media helps, too. I'm Anthony Stine, the Practical Carnivore, and thanks for your time.